Chairman Bell, you're recognized.
Thank you. Most of us have known who the other presenters were. I just wanted to give a quick bio, if I could, on who Dr. Lott is, because some up here may not know who he is. Dr. John Lott is an economist and a world-recognized expert on guns and crime. Lott recently served in the Trump administration during 2020 and 2021 as senior advisor for research and statistics in the Office of Justice Programs for U.S. Department of Justice, and then senior advisor for research and statistics in the OLP. Somebody may have to enlighten me what OLP is. Lott has held research or teaching positions at various institutions, including the University of Chicago, Yale University, Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, Stanford University, Rice University, and was chief economist at the United States Sentencing Commission from 1988 to 1989. And he holds a PhD in economics from UCLA. Just wanted to give a little background so those who didn't know him would know something about him. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Lott, for being here. If you'll state your name and if you're with an organization or who you represent, and then after that, you'll have 3 minutes.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you very much. I want to thank the committee members very much for your time, and I want to thank Chairman Bell for inviting me. My name is John Lott. I'm president of the Crime Prevention Research Center. Tennessee could be the 19th state to adopt so-called constitutional carry rules. It would allow law-abiding citizens who legally own a gun to carry it without a permit. 31 states already allow open carry without a permit. There are dire predictions, and we've heard many here today, of what will happen if Tennessee adopts this law. So much of the gun control debate is about what might go wrong. But we don't need to guess here, given we have so much experience around the country with states that already have this law. We have the same predictions when states first adopted right to carry laws, which now exist in 43 states. Not a single one of these states has seen the need to reverse its law. And again, none of the dire predictions came true with the 17 states that currently have constitutional carry laws in effect. Utah's will go into effect in a couple months. None of these laws that have been adopted during the last few decades have even seen a hearing being held to reverse constitutional carry laws. Constitutional carry would make 2 primary changes in Tennessee, which is already a right to carry state, has been mentioned. It would allow people to start carrying more quickly when danger arises and for less cost. The main factor that determines the number of people who carry concealed is the cost of licensing. I'll just give you a quick comparison. Illinois, a 5-year permit costs about $450 to go through the process, the total cost. In Indiana, for a first-time license holder, it's $12.19. While in Illinois, 3.3% of adults have a concealed carry permit, 20.3% of adults in Indiana already have. That's an extreme comparison, but the point basically holds even when you're talking about permit fees that are $30, $40, $50. The impact affects not just reducing the number of people who carry, it stops people who need protection the most from being able to carry. If my research convinces me of anything, it's basically the most likely victims of violent crime, poor blacks who live in high crime urban areas, who benefit the most from being able to go and carry guns. Having additional fees particularly reduces the rate that they carry for protection. The other thing there'll be a significant change is how quickly people can get guns. After fingerprinting, it takes any place from about 6 to 12 weeks for licenses to be processed in Tennessee. If a woman is being stalked or threatened, and we just heard earlier from Nikki Gozer, the types of threats that people face, she won't have to wait for a license under this new rules. Threats can show up long before 6 or 12 weeks are up. We hear about the concerns about what might happen.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We appreciate you being here. Is there any questions for our witness? Senator Bell.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Lott, for being here with us today. Something you said that I had not even ever contemplated. I knew that 31 states have some version of constitutional carry, whether it's a full open carry or open and concealed carry. I think there may be one other state or a couple other states like Tennessee. If our bill is successfully passed, it's concealed that is concealed only. No, this is open. I'm sorry, it's open or concealed. It's open or concealed. But no state has ever offered that you know of, that no state's ever reversed what they've done. And as per your information, no state that you know of has a bill currently filed or has had a hearing to reverse what they've currently done. And would you know if there are any statistics that you could point to that show citizens are less safe, or there's higher crime in those states that allow constitutional carry versus states that have a more restrictive law, like Illinois or California? Are there any statistics that show differences in those states?
Yes, there is. I've done research on this. If you look at constitutional carry states and compare the 5-year average violent crime rates before the adoption of the law with the 5 years after, you find that there is a 5% drop in violent crime after the adoption of the laws. Murder and rape rates both fell by more than 4%. You see similar drops in robberies and aggravated assaults. And there's no change in accidental deaths or gun deaths or suicides. There's, in so much of the gun control debate, there are concerns about what might happen. The reason why you haven't seen even a hearing take place in any of the constitutional carry states to go and reverse the laws that were adopted is that the fears that people bring up haven't materialized.
Senator Rose, you're recognized.
Thank you, and certainly appreciate you being with us today, Dr. Lott. My question is kind of a follow-up from Chairman Bell's question. You specifically mentioned Illinois and Indiana and the cost for permitting. I think you mentioned 22%. Anyway, what's the difference in the crime rate in Indiana and Illinois? And also, Indiana has more percentage gun carriers than Illinois. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's dramatically different. Slightly over 20% of the adult population in Indiana has a concealed carry permit. In Illinois, it's just over 3%. But even more important is the type of people who have concealed carry. In Illinois, because it's costly to be able to get a permit, you basically have white males who live in the suburbs are the ones who get it, and that's fine. But they're not the ones who are most likely victims of violent crime. In Indiana, you're much more likely, in fact, more than the national rate, to have minorities in high crime areas being able to go and carry. And as I say, if my research convinces me of anything, it's those are the very people, the ones who are most likely victims of violent crime, that you have to make it possible for them to be able to carry. And when you start imposing your fees on it, those are the ones that you prevent from being able to legally carry.
Good. Does anyone else have any questions for Dr. Lott? Seeing none, thank you so much for being here today, Dr. Lott. We appreciate it.
Thank you.